The head of state said that the elevation of a community like Lethem to township status is a transformative and defining moment in the country's history, which will serve as a catalyst for economic development for the region. Speaking at the ceremony to mark the official naming of Lethem as a town in Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo on Saturday, Mr. Granger also called for a political cooperation at all levels of government for the good of the region.
The darkest day for Lethem since independence might very well have been on the 13th of July 2012, when Mr. Ganga Prasad came here, dissolved the democratically elected Ireng Sawariwao NDC. Some of you remember you protested against Ganga. You picketed because you demanded democratic governance in Lethem, and he treated you with scant regard. But you had faith, and you were determined to establish this municipality, and you succeeded. The IMC did nothing. It did nothing for the roads, it did nothing for the lights, it did nothing for business, it did nothing for solid waste management, it did nothing for sports. Nothing, nothing, nothing.
President Granger explained that the administration of Region 9 takes place at 4 levels. Internationally, particularly in relation to bilateral relations with Brazil and other neighboring countries, at the level of the regional administration, at the municipal level, and at the level of central government, and for that reason, there must be cooperation and collaboration in the region.
There are some people who drink confrontation soup every morning they wake up. They're always looking for something to quarrel about. Who wins? Who wins if this region is divided? Who gains? And who will feel the pain? If we work together, all of us will thrive. As the saying goes, the rising tide lifts all the boats. The rising tide lifts all the... I'm not speaking with the flood. I know Rupuduni loves to have floods and stuff, but we will deal with that later on. But the rising tide lifts all the boats, regardless of what party you come from. APNU, GAP, AFC, PNC, everybody wins.
Mr. Granger pointed out that before the current administration took office, residents of Lethem, particularly businessmen and women, had to travel to the coastland to register businesses and access other basic services, an exercise that proved to be both costly and time-consuming.
You'll see the absurdity that existed in this country for the last 23 years. Absurd that a businessman would have to go to Anna Regina or Adventure in Region 2 to register his business in Region 9. So we are putting an end to that absurdity by delivering public services. I've been to all of these communities. Dr. Norton and I, Mr. Bulkan and I, Sidney Allicock and I, we've been through North, Central, and South. And we know what the people need.
Meanwhile, Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan said the government is resolute in its commitment to guaranteeing citizens a good life.
Much remains to be accomplished. This requires continued commitment to realizing better governance, management, and administration. And I extend my support and best wishes to the Council in that regard.
After the official ceremony, President Granger unveiled a plaque which is erected in a central area in the community called the Declaration Park to officially declare Lethem a town. He also received the symbolic key to the town from Mayor Beckles. The president is expected to declare Madia a town by the end of this year. Roy and James, HGP Nightly News.